Welcome everyone. The question is, do you feel pain in your body? Today, I'm going to tell you about 6 pains that anxious people feel. And sometimes it's not even a problem caused by that organ, but by anxiety. And you're left wandering around to countless doctors without discovering the cause of your problem and suffering, trapped in various places. So, this video is for you who suffer from anxiety, for you who suffer from fibromyalgia, for you who suffer from depression, stress, and muscle tension, for you who have body aches, chest pain, heartburn, gastritis. This video is for you, okay? Someone here has neck pain, a headache, stomach pain, chest pain, pain all over their body. Do you know what it could be? Well, all these pains and more that we're about to talk about could be because you're suffering from anxiety. Anxiety is a problem. It's an emotional state that includes both a psychological and a physiological component. Psychological and physiological components. In addition, anxiety affects family, work, social life. And the worst thing is that this disorder can radiate through your body in the form of pain. And today I'm going to talk about 6 pains that are most common in people with anxiety. And then you go and start having the symptoms and you think you're very seriously ill, right? I'd like to remind you that there are natural solutions to help with this, such as physical activity, diet, tea, supplements. Well, people, anxiety is a disorder that causes muscle tension. This is chronic tension, especially in the back, neck, and shoulders. And this prolonged tension can generate the first pain I'm going to talk about today, which is muscle pain and stiffness. These muscle pains and stiffness form nodules in our backs, shoulders, and can even cause tingling in our arms. Who has ever massaged someone else or themselves and felt a bunch of lumps? Because it's interesting to understand that during periods of anxiety, some people can breathe in a superficial way, like this, superficial way, like a puppy. With little oxygen, the lungs expand little, and this leads to inadequate oxygenation of the muscles. Anxious people tend to have something called hyperventilation, which is exactly that. They breathe fast and short, and during anxiety attacks or even very high anxiety, some people even breathe too fast. We call this hyperventilation. And this can lead to a reduction in the levels of carbon dioxide in your blood. And then you can get dizzy, tingling, and even muscle pain. Muscle pain, which results from tension, can be interpreted as an additional threat by the brain. This muscle pain leads to increased anxiety. In turn, anxiety leads to more tension. So as soon as your shoulders and neck are tense, this leads to the second pain that anxious people have, which is a headache. There are people who suffer from headaches, especially women, and never discover the cause because the cause is often anxiety.
Hey you guys, are you enjoying our content? Why I'm asking this? Because according to our channel analysis, 97% of the people who watch us are not subscribed to the channel. Do you believe this? So I sincerely ask, if you have liked our content, subscribe to our channel. Let's make this content reach everyone around the world and let's make this a healthier world, okay? So subscribe our channel and God bless you.
So headaches are a common type of pain linked to muscle stiffness. Well, anxiety can trigger a fight or flight response. You either fight or flee. That's from the sympathetic nervous system. And this fight or flight response can cause vasodilation. In other words, the vessels dilate, especially those in the head. This vasodilation can increase the pressure inside the head, resulting in a headache. In addition, the levels of certain neurotransmitters in the brain, such as serotonin and noradrenaline, can also become dysregulated. These chemicals in the brain are important in regulating good mood. An anxious person hardly ever has a good mood. So a change in these levels can also contribute to a headache. Another point about anxiety that we mustn't forget is that this anxiety disorder can lead to insomnia. It can interrupt your sleep at night. Poor quality sleep is a surefire headache. The third pain that anxiety sufferers may experience is stomach pain. When you're anxious, the autonomic nervous system is influenced, which is what you don't control. This can lead to changes in the gastrointestinal system, there in digestion, In some cases, this can result in reduced blood flow to the stomach, to the intestines, and this can cause abdominal discomfort such as crampy digestion, heartburn. Then you can trigger the vagus nerve, which discharges acid into your stomach. You may experience burning. Another important aspect related to eating habits is that when a person is anxious, they start to want food rewards. They start to binge refined carbohydrates, sweets, fried foods. And that kind of food will go together, of course, with stomach pain, fatty liver, poor digestion. So it's a cycle. Guys, the fourth pain that people with anxiety can have is pain throughout the body. Chronic anxiety has been linked to a persistent inflammatory state in your body. Chronic inflammation can contribute to various medical conditions. Anxiety sufferers may experience joint pain, muscle pain, pain all over the body. People are even confused and given the diagnosis of fibromyalgia when in fact it's anxiety that's causing it. The fifth pain that anxious people have is chest pain. So, since the anxious person is under the sway of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, cortisol can affect heart function and cause chest pain? Yes. Dayan, can a person have a heart attack because they're anxious? Yes, as long as they already have a coronary obstruction. Let's say you have a coronary obstruction, but you're a calm person. Sometimes in that coronary, you live your whole life and never have a heart attack. Little blood is passing through, but your heart beats normally. But let's say that this same person who has a coronary obstruction gets stressed, gets anxious, their heart beats faster, needs more blood, and has a heart attack. So anxiety is like an exercise test for the heart. Why do people do exercise tests? To see if it causes any pain. You cause the sensation of pain, or you cause the alteration of the electron, which is the alteration of the infarction. Anxiety does that. Anxiety can also cause muscle tension throughout the body, including the chest, and you think it's heart pain. Anxiety can make you think you have esophagitis. It can make you think you have an aortic aneurysm. So this muscle tension can cause discomfort anywhere in the chest. There can also be increased pressure. What I know of hypertensive people who actually have anxiety, but the majority of hypertensive people would actually cure themselves if they treated their anxiety, lost weight, and got moving. Lose weight, slim down, control your worry and anxiety, and go for a walk. But they don't do that. An increase in heart rate can also occur with anxiety, and this can lead to palpitations and you thinking you're having a heart attack. Now, the sixth pain. There are many, but the sixth pain of anxiety is pain in the eye. Sometimes you have pain in your eyes. Boy, what's that pain in my eye? Your eye feels like you've got dengue fever. In fact, sometimes it's anxiety. Now, how do we get rid of or reduce this anxiety? These pains, you have to sweat, literally sweat. You have to de-stress by practicing some physical activity. Physical activity for anxious people isn't very stressful. You can do Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. That's not very good. The best thing is to go for a walk in the park, do Pilates, dance, do yoga. Of course, any physical activity is better than a sedentary lifestyle. Okay? But for the anxious, it's something that's more calmer. You can also do meditation. What you can't do without is physical activity, right? You need to take care of yourself and what you eat. The best diet there is, not just for anxiety, but I think for your whole health, is the Mediterranean diet. It's a diet with lots of leaves, vegetables, good fats, avocado, oils, nuts, fish, and meat too. Red meat in smaller quantities, okay? And remember, in order to improve your anxiety, you need to get to know yourself, seek any kind of therapy, and sometimes talk to a good friend, with a good friend, a positive person, and treat your intestinal microbiota. Gut bacteria have a direct relationship with mental health. Big hugs to you all. God bless. Bye, guys.